Join me as I dive into the ultimate challenge of comparing Venezuela and Canada, two countries that couldn't be more different. Venezuela and Canada are like two opposing forces in the world, each with their unique characteristics that make them stand out from the rest. One's a socialist, oil-rich nation in South America, while the other's a federal parliamentary democracy in North America, known for its maple syrup and Mounties. These two countries are often considered polar opposites, and that's exactly what makes this comparison so fascinating. Trying to understand how two countries can be so different in terms of economy, culture, and geography is no easy task. It's like trying to compare apples and oranges. They're both fruit, but that's where the similarities end. How can we make sense of these vastly different nations, each with their own distinct history, language, and customs? One key aspect to consider is the vastly different economic paths these countries have taken. Take Venezuela, for instance, where a socialist government has dominated the political scene for decades. The country's economy is heavily reliant on oil exports, which has both blessed and cursed the nation. On one hand, oil revenues have enabled Venezuela to invest in social programs and infrastructure, lifting millions out of poverty. On the other hand, the country's dependence on oil has made it vulnerable to global market fluctuations, leading to economic instability and high inflation. In stark contrast, Canada's economy is diversified and market-oriented, with a strong service sector, a thriving tech industry, and a highly developed manufacturing sector. The country's economic stability and openness to trade have attracted foreign investment, making it one of the wealthiest nations in the world. Canada's cultural melting pot is another aspect that sets it apart from Venezuela's more homogeneous society. Canada prides itself on being a mosaic of cultures, where diversity is celebrated and immigration is encouraged. Venezuela, on the other hand, has a more complex cultural identity, shaped by its indigenous, African, and European heritage. Government structure is another area where these two countries diverge significantly. Canada's federal system is characterized by a parliamentary democracy, where power is divided between the federal government and 10 provinces. Venezuela, on the other hand, has a presidential system, where the president holds significant executive power. In Venezuela, daily life is a constant struggle for many citizens, who face shortages of basic goods, rampant inflation, and high crime rates. In contrast, Canadians enjoy a relatively high standard of living, with access to quality education, healthcare, and social services. Imagine waking up every morning in Venezuela, not knowing if you'll be able to find bread or milk in the stores. Imagine living in a city where crime is rampant, and the police are often corrupt. That's the reality for many Venezuelans. Now, compare that to life in Canada, where you can walk down the street without fear of violence, where you can access quality healthcare and education, and where you can live a relatively peaceful life. In Canada, you can drive on well-maintained highways, enjoy a vibrant cultural scene, and live in a society that values diversity and inclusivity. In Venezuela, you might struggle to find a job, to make ends meet, or to access basic services. These two countries may seem like worlds apart, but they both have something to teach us about the diversity of human experience. By exploring these differences, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the complexities of the world we live in. So, what do you think? Are there any other country comparisons that you'd like to see explored? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out another video where we compare two more unique countries.